Some WWE moments get us all giddy, massive hype, fireworks, the works, only to vanish faster than a push after Vince is distracted by a Sears catalog underwear advertisement, shocking betrayals that went nowhere, the hype debuts that fizzled, the once-in-a-generation face-offs that somehow ended in catering. For a company that doesn't like to tease something they aren't going to deliver, there have been quite a few moments that started out loud, burned bright, then disappeared without a trace. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 big WWE moments that went nowhere. Number 1, Ultimate Disappointment. Picture this, the Ultimate Warrior, the face-painted freight train, is getting rocked by The Undertaker. He begins getting mentored by Jake Roberts in a series of vignettes meant to teach the Warrior about the dark side. First, Warrior's locked in a coffin, he comes out of it, no worse for wear, other than a little bedhead. Then he's buried alive, coming face to face with the skull. Last, poor Yorick, load the spaceship with the rocket fuel, and it ended with Roberts locking the Warrior in a room full of snakes in an apparent heel turn. Fans ate it up. Roberts was elevated from a mid-card menace to a main event psycho. But poof, it was all gone faster than Warrior's cardio. Why? Well, ego and extortion, baby. Hours before SummerSlam 1991, the Warrior cornered Vince McMahon backstage demanding a fat payday or he'd no-show his match against the Triangle of Terror. Vince coughed up the cash to save the pay-per-view, but fired Warrior's tassel-wearing ass right after the bell. And poor Jake the Snake, well, he was left high and dry, having to pivot to roughing up Randy Savage at his wedding reception instead, which was a solid feud, but sans the face paint freak show. Meanwhile, the Ultimate Warrior sulked off into obscurity until his inevitable rehires. Number 2, Dean's deleted debut. Let's rewind to 2012 when a scruffy FCW upstart named Dean Ambrose decided to play psychotherapist on Mick Foley. Now, Ambrose was stalking Foley in a hotel lobby before WrestleMania 28, unleashing a verbal beatdown about how Foley's hardcore antics had wrecked a generation of upcoming wrestlers who idolized his violent style. Then came the Twitter tirade where Ambrose dragged Foley's kids into it, prompting Mick to encourage Ambrose to knock it off a bit like a disappointed dad. This wasn't some random indie beef, it was WWE's genius plan to rocket Ambrose to the main roster with a full-blown feud against the hardcore legend, culminating in a match at SummerSlam 2012 or sooner. But alas, wrestling's a fragile soap opera. Foley actually got kinda miffed at the family jabs, and a UK tour meant Ambrose missed the cease and desist texts. Classic miscommunication worthy of a rom-com. More crucially, Mick couldn't snag medical clearance. His body was a walking concussion factory, and Doc said no to another barbed wire barbecue. And now that we're getting into it, this is probably one of the ones we're lucky that it didn't happen, because without this flop, Ambrose might have debuted solely, derailing the iconic Shield invasion at Survivor Series later that year. There would be no Hounds of Justice, no triple power bombs, no betrayal that launched 3 megastars. Instead, we'd have gotten a brief hardcore feud, and then Ambrose out on his own. Fate dodged a bullet, or should I say a sock puppet, wrestling's butterfly effect at its snarkiest best. Number 3, Family Matters. WrestleMania 19, where 2 geriatric egos, Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, slugged it out in a street fight that looked more like a senior center brawl with ladders and pipes. Vince, the boss who couldn't resist inserting himself into everything, got his comeuppance from the Hulkster, complete with the rarely seen triple leg drop. But wait, enter Shane McMahon, Vince's prodigal son, sauntering down post-match like he just remembered that Dad might need help wiping the blood off of his Botoxed face. Shane checks on Vince, shares a tense stare down with the Hulkster, who dramatically backs off and lets him in the ring. Ooh, the drama. Was this the spark of a father-son revenge arc? A Shane O'Mac versus Hulkamania showdown? Nah, it was pure improv. Bruce Pritchard confirmed on his podcast that the moment was completely on the fly, not some part of a master plan. Turns out there were 0 concrete plans for Shane and Hogan to tangle. Closest it got was that awkward ringside cameo, teasing family loyalty amid Hogan's victory strut. Now, why it didn't happen? You can blame Hogan's ego and wallet. Fresh off of WrestleMania 19, he griped about his $300,000 payday, then bolted the WWE in June 2003 over creative gripes and feeling underpaid. Shane, he vanished from the storyline, perhaps too busy jumping off of cages somewhere. Meanwhile, Hogan pieced out to greener pastures, talking about reality TV, leave the McMahon family drama to fizzle like a wet firecracker. Classic WWE, build a moment, then watch it evaporate because the star's check bounced their ego. What a Hulk-sized letdown. Fortunately, this would be the last time a Shane McMahon angle would start, and then suddenly, number 4, Shane again. SummerSlam 2016, where Brock Lesnar, the part-time beast who treats the WWE like a side gig, decided to cap off his bloody TKO win over Randy Orton by F5ing Shane McMahon like he was yesterday's trash. Shane O'Mac, the Daredevil daddy's boy, rushed in to protect Orton from Lesnar's elbow-fueled rampage, only to eat a spine-shattering F5 that left fans gasping and commentators scrambling. It's pure chaos, a perfect heel heat moment for the Beast incarnate, who strutted out like he owned the joint, because let's face it, with his sweetheart contract, he kinda did. Now, this wasn't just some random violence. Nah, WWE's crack creative team had big plans. The F5 was a blatant setup for a Lesnar versus Shane feud, potentially culminating at Survivor Series or even WrestleMania 33. Picture it, the unstoppable monster versus the high-flying executive who thinks that jumping off of cages makes him relevant. Reports swirled that Vince McMahon saw it as a marquee matchup with Shane as Lesnar's big plan opponent for WrestleMania. Hell, Lesnar even got fined $500 in kayfabe for the cross-brand assault. Like that was really good. $500? Is that? What a joke. But alas, wrestling's a fickle mistress, and our Bill Goldberg, as part of a video game promotion, the nostalgia act who returned at Survivor Series and squashed Lesnar in under 2 minutes, like poof, beast mode deactivated. That viral upset created such a massive talking point that Vince pivoted hard, ditching the Shane storyline for a Goldberg-Lesnar match at WrestleMania. Shane ended up facing AJ Styles instead in a surprisingly good match, and the F5 tease fizzled into wrestling oblivion. Build up all that hype, then Goldberg it all away. Now, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and jackhammer that notification bell. Number 5, Countdown to Nothing. In the closing moments of Bad Blood 2024, the WWE dangled The Rock like a shiny carrot, only to yank it away and leave fans starving. There he was, the People's Champ, the final boss, sauntering out post-main event after Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes had barely survived the Bloodline's latest family therapy session. Oh, hello random arm recording this. I'd imagine that had to be for The Rock's Instagram, #FinalBoss, #MuchLove, #Terramana, #Papatui. The Rock stares him down, dramatically flashes 1, 2, 3 with his fingers like he's auditioning for Sesame Street's Wrestling Edition, and pieces out without a word. The crowd erupts, Twitter goes berserk, triple threats gotta be incoming, right folks? Rock, Cody, Roman at Mania. Yeah right, it was classic WWE bait and switch, teasing Bloodline implosion, and The Rock's big comeback arc. Supposedly, this cryptic countdown was planting seeds for chaos, with Rock inserting himself into the undisputed title picture. Plans swirled for him to feud with Cody, reigniting that whole final boss ego trip, while pulling strings in the Bloodline saga, leading to a Survivor Series War Games or Crown Jewel fireworks. Hell, by March 2025, Rock even buried critics post-Elimination Chamber, insisting his finger wag meant something. Spoiler, it meant jack and squat. Now, why the fizzle? Well, blame Hollywood's golden boy. The Rock ghosted Mania 41 entirely. No match, no promo, nada. Claimed he wanted the spotlight to be on John Cena's heel turn and farewell title grab over Cody, but hey, it's cool for Travis Scott to swipe some of that spotlight, right? Fans accused him of ruining the show, and he clapped back like a diva whose ego got bruised. Creative tensions, scheduling conflicts, or just Rock realizing wrestling's a side hustle next to his Moana sequels. Here we are in October 2025, and it's just remembered as a pointless tease. 1 year later, we're still counting to 3, waiting for a payoff that never came. Number 6, make overhyped. Emmalina, the teased makeover of Emma, better known as Tennille Dashwood, was hyped for a whopping 17 weeks, that's over 4 months, via vignettes promising a glamorous diva glow-up. Think Sable meets Lana, all sultry stares and zero substance. Fans endured endless premiering soon delays. We assumed it was creative's inability to decide if she should wink or wiggle. Why drag it out? Vince McMahon reportedly birthed the idea himself, envisioning an over-the-top sex symbol in a post-PG era. Rehearsals flopped. Emma couldn't quite nail the vapid vibe. clashing with creative and earning some backstage heat. Then the big night finally arrived. February 13th, 2017 episode of Monday Night Raw. Emelina struts out, purrs her name, and poof, just ditches it mid-promo, reverting back to plain old Emma. Makeover? Nah, back to basics. The crowd? Crickets. Why the instant dump? Well, Emma hated the gimmick. WWE realized it screamed outdated amid #give Divas a Chance vibes. She got released months later, probably because nothing says long-term planning like all that hype for a 5-minute flop. Number 7. Blackout. Oh, WWE in 2021, where creative decisions made about as much sense as a vegan steakhouse. Enter Aleister Black, the brooding Dutch enigma who'd been MIA since October of 2020. To hype his SmackDown return, the WWE rolled out a months-long vignette series starting on April 23rd. You got darkroom monologues, creepy tales of father and inner demons, like Black was auditioning for a Tim Burton therapy session. Finally, on May 21st, he bursts out during a fatal 4-way Intercontinental title match, blindsiding Big E with a Black mass kick. Big E sold it like a champ, and it teased a juicy new program. Black's occult edge versus Big E's powerhouse positivity. But hold your applause. 12 days later on June 2nd, Black got the boot in a shocking round of budget cuts alongside Braun Strowman and others. No follow-up attack, no rematch, no putting Big E over on the way out. Nah, just poof, gone. Like Vince McMahon woke up and decided, nah, too spooky. Built a mystique for months, deliver one boot to the face, and then fire the guy before he can cash the check. Well, there's our list. Can you think of any other big WWE moments that didn't lead anywhere? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and crush that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.